Good morning. As you see here, a shiny orange tractor, and it is not a Kubota. I opted for the Kioti, CK model that is, 4010. Was looking at the 35 horse, but decided to go up the extra 5 horsepower. Wasn't that much more in price, and I think it's totally worth it. I did a lot of research, as anyone does, looked at the technical aspects of the tractor, features, horsepower, its ratings, its lift capacity. As you see, it's got the suspension seat, it has ergonomic controls, grab bars on each side. I did the industrial tires. The best feature is this red lever here on the dash that allows you to hit the linked pedal on and off. And what that does is, with more pressure on the hydrostatic, whether forward or reverse, when that's turned on, it also adds additional throttle. So just like throttling it up when you push down on the hydrostatic pedal, very similar to an accelerated pedal that you'd find on a skid steer. This works amazing when you're trying to navigate around and you don't have to sit there and finagle with the hand control throttle that's on the dash. Obviously, it does have that as well, but you can flip that on and off and makes it very convenient for navigating around. Extendable third links there. The hydraulic top link has hydraulics in the rear, 2 sets actually. So I use one for the top link. Has a great turning radius. I had the additional feature for the hydraulic function, the third function, so I have a grapple, as you see. There's the lines for the grapple running up front, as well as the loader. As you see, the extendable bottom links, as well as my top link hydraulic lines with the quick connects running in. Two of the things that I did change was this bracket. Originally, it was on the side. I moved it to the back so it didn't stick out as much. You also see up here in the front, I moved the third function hydraulics to the side. They were mounted down below, right about here. It made for a cleaner install. It does not hit the brush bar. So stay tuned. We'll do some bush hogging and grapple work after we review one issue that I had. So the one thing I did have an issue with was the pin and cotter pin down here. As you see, I replaced the bolt and a lock nut on there. But the pin and the cotter pin that was in there, from moving around, the cotter pin was wearing and actually fell out. So I replaced it with this bolt and nut. That's the only thing I've ran into in the last 30 hours on this tractor. Everything else seems to be buttoned up pretty tight. But it's always good to pre-flight, post-flight, check all your connections, check all your functionalities, make sure everything's working. So stay tuned and we'll get to work out on the homestead. As I mentioned, the extra lift capacity, you can see here multiple logs in the grapple at a time. 600 pounds additional lift capacity compared to the other tractors of the same size, same horsepower rating. That to me was one of the major selling features of this tractor, as well as the additional flow of the hydraulic pump, which I assume goes hand in hand with the additional lift capacity. As you see, some of the palmettos I'm pulling out here, grabs a hold of them, got the root rake at the bottom of that grapple, grabs a hold of them, close the grapple down and just rips them right out. Not a problem whatsoever. My favorite clip here, where I'm actually pulling the tire off the ground, this just goes to show the brute strength of the lift capacity of this tractor. And that's with a 900-pound bush hog on the 3-point in the rear. Here you'll see my little friend Ozzy the Osprey eyeballing what I'm doing, making sure I'm doing everything right. He was able to get a couple free snacks as I disturbed some of the brush that I was pulling out. The bush hog, so here's some run over some lighter palmettos. Probably some of the heavy cutting that I did obviously probably added a little wear and tear to that stabilizer pin that I mentioned earlier that I replaced with a bolt. So expected. Went through the palmettos, 2, 3, 4-inch saplings without a problem. And as you see here, getting into some pretty heavy palmettos. Decided to do more backing in as opposed to driving over, just for the safety of the undercarriage and not wanting to damage anything. But as you see, just chews right through these bigger palmettos. Obviously I picked the bush hog up a little bit to get over the tops of a lot of these. But very fibrous, ground them down, mulched it up. Didn't have much of a problem whatsoever, as you see. I do want to say thank you to the Brooksville Kioti dealer, a gentleman by the name of Ryan. He helped me out with all the questions I had. Professional, knowledgeable, and expert on these machines. Look forward to many more years of enjoyable running of this tractor. Be sure to check them out. Thanks for watching. And hopefully this camera doesn't get hit by the bush hog. Whew, that was a close one.